Hello, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for Sunday the 6th of July. We've got a 15 seal set. As always, I'll have timestamps in the description if you're just looking for one of these options and you'll skip everything else. Alright, so this set, I would say most of the stuff's good. Normally doing a keep in Cyrodiil is kind of annoying, and it probably would still be, but with Vengeance, there's only one campaign, so it's a lot more busy. So you'll probably, if there's any time you want to do a capture keep in Cyrodiil one, it'd be now, but I still wouldn't personally do it. Alright, so I'll start with Emotes, because you can just do this from anywhere. So, as soon as you log in, on keyboard, just type /NO, and that's probably the quickest emote you can do with the least amount of letters. On gamepad, it's slightly different. So let me just activate it. Alright, on gamepad, all you do instead is you press whatever start or menu is on the console, the gamepad. You go down to social, emotes, and then just whichever one's here. And that's it. Crafting with any skill, there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. You can do writs, get a blacksmith writ to craft some stuff, and that way if you hand the writs in, you can get some good stuff, like you can get surveys and intricates and gold quality stuff. But if you just want to do this as fast as possible, and using the least amount of resources every time, because it has shown up quite a bit these days, I think because of Zenithar, but still. Anytime crafting with any skill comes up, it's also the weekly, so if you haven't done the weekly yet, you can do it using the same strategy. So firstly, you want to make sure you have 2 recipes. You can get these recipes from any chef in the game. This one here in Salted Wings Tavern is good to use, just because the rest of the place you use to do this is right around the corner. So you want baked apples, which you'll probably already have if you've done Zenithar. You also want banana surprise, which costs a little bit of gold. Once you've got these 2 recipes on one character, from this point, every time this endeavor comes up, you can just do it for free. Alright, once you've got these recipes, just make your way over here to the little square pier just southeast of the Wayshrine in Vocal Guard that you start with. Sorry, this is in Oridon. I assume most people know this, but this area here has some apples and some bananas that you can take and cook with, and these count as crafting with any skill. So just take the bananas, the apples from that tray there. There'll be a apple basket here, and then there'll be a apple basket here. The power of this area is the fact that none of this is stolen, whereas most places it is stolen, so it just helps. There's a bunch of other places you can find these sorts of things. This is an infinite source, and you never get a bounty from taking it. So to the west is a cooking station, so you just go to food, fruit dishes, and you'll find both the types of dishes. So you just craft as many as you need, and that'll be it. Or cook as many as you need, whatever. Okay, vampires. So Rivenspire is going to be a main source of vampires. In most cases, there are a couple of areas in Rivenspire that you can find them. So this area to the east of Camp Tamrith is one area. This doesn't have many vampires, but this is a place not as many people tend to go to, and there are more than 5. So you got the one that I just killed here. There's 2 over here, there's 3 over here, and then I think there's also, yeah, there's a couple over here. And yeah, all of these people here are vampires. You can tell by the appearance of their face. Oh, whoops. Yeah, there's another one there. The other areas are Crestshade, right here. This is full of Blood Fiends. You've got Moira's Hope as well. This area is full of Blood Fiends and Montclair vampires. If you haven't done the quest yet, there's Montclair vampires and Blood Fiends in here. There's also some over here, I believe, but I'm pretty sure most of that's just undead, so they don't work. In the northern side, I think there's a few if you do that quest. But yeah, for most cases, you're going to want to use Moira's Hope, Crestshade. Okay, so another area for vampires, even though it might not seem it, Spell Fiends in Spellscar, is it? Yeah, Spellscar. So these guys here are actually considered to be vampires. So just find a group of these guys. There's tons of them in this area here. And yeah, they count as vampires too. There you go. So that's 2. And so there's just tons of groups all over the place. You've got that group there. We've got a big bunch of them over here, and that'll probably, yeah, you can see 5 there. You can see a group there. So Craglon has Spellscar here, which is fucking full of these things. There's also a few in Elenir, and I'm pretty sure a couple of the quests and dungeons have some too. Yeah, Elenir or Spellscar. So again, you want to use home tours to get here quick if you haven't been here before. Hackfield's High Hall, Domus Rascus, Elenir Private Arena, all these places here give you access to Cold Harbor quickly. You can also use Earthtier Cavern as well if you want, and just entering here for the first time will give you Belkarth Wayshrine, which is also quite close. So it's very easy to get here once you understand how home tours work. Now the other one is Cold Harbor, right? So there's two. There's the Great Shackle, Great Shackle, but the Black Forge, the first area, that's got vampires in it, and the Orchid also has vampires in it. The Black Forge has some. This is accessible straight away. You need to complete the part of the quests in Cold Harbor to get access to the Orchid. You need to complete the Lightless Oubliette, and you need to complete the Great Shackle. And then after that, you need to complete the Crossing the Chasm quest to complete this area here. Once you do that, you'll get access to the Wayshrine and the Orchid. You can also just get someone to travel there and travel to them, and that should unlock the Wayshrine too. I've heard that doesn't work though. Apparently, a workaround for that is have someone travel to one of the delves in Cold Harbor up here, and that way you can just leave that delve and be taken to Cold Harbor instead. So yeah, just a bunch of things that'll work there too. Oh yeah, sorry. To get to Cold Harbor for the first time, you just need to use Cold Harbor Surreal Estate through home tours as well. So you just find it here. So you just look up in C, Cold Harbor Surreal Estate, or like Elenir Private Arena, whatever it is. So you can use those to travel to these places easily. And the same thing can be said as well for Rivenspire. You can use something like Ravenhurst, or you could use Wraithhome to get to Moira's Hope quickly. I don't think there's any near Tamrith Camp though. But as soon as you enter Cragmon for the first time, you get this Wayshrine, which is relatively close. Right, library furnishings. So firstly, if you've already got a house and you want to check if you do have any library furnishings, press the housing editor key, so it's F5 on default on PC, browse at the bottom there, and then go to the retrieve category up here, or the tab, then go down to library, and anything you have in your house will show up here, and so you just click on it, and then you can put it away. And what happens now is, at the bottom left in the housing editor, you go undo, and then redo, undo. So that will cause them to be placed over and over. You can't just pick them up. Whoops. You can't just like pick it up and like place it down and just keep doing that. It doesn't work that way. It has to actually come from your inventory and then be placed onto the ground, and undo, redo does that instead. Now let me show you some places where you can find some. Okay, so firstly, if you don't have a house yet, I'll show you how to get one. So come to Fellow Demery here, just slightly northwest of the Wayshrine and Vocal Guard that you start with, so it's easy to get here. Just talk to her, you'll start a quest, and all you have to do to finish the quest is just keep pressing the talk button. You get a little bit of gold, and you'll complete the quest that gives you a house. If you want to find your house, you just go to the map here, and in the houses tab up here, you'll find all the maps, the houses that you've collected. So you can just left click on it, it shows you where to find it on the map, and you go left click and travel inside to get there. And you can do this from anywhere outside of Cyrodiil and Imperial City, which is nice too, for convenience sake. Alright, as for getting your hands on a library furnishing, it's a little bit more complicated than it is with other stuff, but it's still pretty straightforward. So type in Guild Traders, Pelennor, and look for Song of Pelennors. In this case, probably Song. Yeah, so any of the Song of Pelennor stuff, you should eventually find one of these Song of Pelennor volumes, and these are considered to be a library furnishing. So 300 gold, a little bit of an investment, but from this point, just one book is all you need, and then you can do this library finishing from like any time it comes up, no matter how many library finishings you've got. You can just spam undo, redo over and over when you pick it up. So yeah, just check all the guild traders. You shouldn't have to spend anything more than 1,000 gold on one of those. Then the only other option I would suggest that's better is the Fargrave Clutter Papers furnishing that you can only get from Nif, who appears in Fargrave. So you need to have the Deadlands DLC in order to access this, which is annoying. So only people with that DLC will be able to get this. But in that case, if you don't have that DLC, just look at the Song of Pelennor one. There's tons of those. There's also other things. For example, I believe there's a furnishing for how to scribe. I'm pretty sure that also counts as a library furnishing too. And you just get this from completing the second area of scribing, which is pretty straightforward to get to. Other than that, maybe these do as well, the Kunzari and the Lunar Champion stuff from elsewhere. And yeah, maybe some other stuff, but yeah, if you're really, like, not to complicate matters, just go ton of Palanol or the paper. Anything more than that's just complicating matters too much, I think. Alright, so I'm going to explain to the best of my abilities how I would go about taking a keep. Now, because it's Vengeance campaign, and basically you can just rock up and you've got the same stats as everyone else, this is for like the player that doesn't play PvP, without argument, the best time to come and try and do this endeavor. I would not bother with it in any other way. Even now, as I said earlier, I don't really think it's a good option anyway, but if you do still need to do the Gone Pursuit, taking one keep is pretty quick, provided you just have a little bit of luck on your side and you can just follow a group around. So the first thing to cover in regards to keeps is flagging. So flagging in this game for keeps is... So what happens is you cause the keep to no longer become... you can't travel to it anymore. And that's very important because it stops enemy players to get there and help defense. And there's two ways to do that. One is to damage a section of the keep itself to the point in which it gets to half HP. Any part of the keep can be damaged to get to that stage, but until there is a single piece at 50%, it will remain non-flagged and players can still travel to it. So probably the quickest way to do that in the game is to just rush with a small group to the front door and smash the shit out of the main gate. Because the main gate with a battering ram and a few ballistas will go down far quicker than anything else. Now, there is another case to be made about basically postern trolling. It's a way that people use a trebuchet from long range to hit the inside of the keep and they just flag one specific part of it. And it's very cheeky because usually it's hard to hear it because sometimes the distance that you can shoot things from on like a ledge is too far away for you to listen out for the explosion noise, because like after a while the projectile from trebuchets actually disappears. It still hits and does damage, but like the animations and the sound doesn't play, so sometimes they can be hard to see. But that's like more, I feel like that's the advanced thing and not really thing most players will be able to do. Now the other method to flag a keep, it doesn't actually flag, but it does prevent other players from traveling to it, and that is to take all three of the resources. The only issue with this is if you take them too slowly, all it takes is for one guy to press the M key, look at the map, see that one of the resources has now turned to the enemy, and they'll think, oh, okay, something's up. Some kind of player is interacting with this keep in some way, and I should probably take a look at it. Now, in a very low pop campaign, that's probably not going to happen, but in a campaign with a high population, you are likely going to get some attention if you start taking all the resources to try and cut a keep off. So it's a choice. Do you go straight for the keep and risk a hard and fast smashing of the front door with a battering ram, and if there's already defenders there, they will put oils down and make it difficult for you? Or do you cut off further support from the outside by taking the resources, but also maybe allowing other people who are at other keeps time to get there before you start the siege? It's just, I can't really give you a decision to make in those cases, like which one's right, because I don't play enough PvP to have that sort of experience. But these are the two ways that generally you will do this. And you will be surprised how fucking annoying it is to deal with a group that just runs through, takes a bunch of resources, doesn't take the keep, just goes to the next one, takes the resources. It causes people to have to go on a run-around frenzy, and it is so fucking obnoxious sometimes. But yeah, those are the ways. So I've talked quite in detail in some other videos about how to take a resource, but I'll just clarify very quick. Kill this guard first before you even go anywhere near the flag. What I suggest you do is take him out, go into this, go up the stairs and fight this person. And what will happen is the guards down at the flag won't be able to attack you. You'll just be stuck attacking this one and maybe a guard and a healer from down here. It is so much easier doing this first, because while you're trying to take the flag, this fucker is going to be pelting with shit. And it is really annoying, especially right now if you're trying to do this alone, because it's easy to like get into here and do stuff, but I think you are weaker than if you had a proper build in this place. You definitely can handle it on your own, but you need to be very careful and make sure you divide and conquer in this place. Alright, so once you get to the keep, you've got a decision to make. Do you attack the front door with battering rams and ballistas? That will be faster, but if there are enemy defenders, they will likely be up here preparing oils to dump down on below. If you have a battering ram and you get pelted with like 2 or 3 oils, you are highly guaranteed to die unless someone's got a siege shield ability from the defensive or the support skill line. The one of the last ones in the list. That will reduce the siege damage by 50%, but even then, enough oils will still fucking annihilate the shit out of you down there. And in that case, you will be better off sticking back here, throwing down trebuchets and ballistas and shooting them from afar. The only issue here is it's definitely going to be slower. Battering ram on the door is the fastest by far if you've got 6 people on the battering ram. You can also, I'll show you later, you can also set up some ballistas at the front, and you can double up doing battering ram duty and hitting it with a ballista. It's very handy to do that. But otherwise, you start setting up trebs at the back and some ballistas and just go to town on the door. You can also hit the walls as well. That'll do the same thing. It's just walls take a hell of a lot longer. The only thing is it's a lot easier to defend it's easier to defend the gate when you're coming through as it is to defend the door. Oh, sorry. It's easier to defend the door than it is to defend the wall. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Alright, so here's a demonstration of doubling up battering ram duty and trebuchet. Oh, sorry, ballista. So just place it as close as you can to the battering ram. You hop off. Once I get unstunned, you hop off and you go straight to the edge of the battering ram. And as you can see in this bit here, I am still part of the battering ram crew, but I'm on my ballista and I'm shooting the door. Now I think it says I didn't do any damage there, which is kind of weird, because clearly I'm hitting the fucking door. Maybe I hit the ballista or something. Yeah, just this is what I suggest you do if you're a small group trying to break through the main door, because this, it gets it done pretty damn quick. Now, if there are defenders and they have oils, as soon as you come through here, they are likely going to pour some more oils down to prevent you from coming through. And this is the most vulnerable part for you when you're coming through here, and when you're underneath the main main building. Those are the times when oils will be your biggest threat, and I mean that. Oils are brutal in this place. It's worth pointing out, if you were the person to bring the battering ram out, don't leave the battering ram here. Pick it up, because what will happen is, if someone else wants to put a battering ram over there, they won't be able to. You have to pick this one up first. I've learnt that as well. Like, I did it before, and people actually get pretty annoyed, and it's fair enough, because you can only put one battering ram down. It's kind of weird. Alright, so once again, you see people here with their ballistas shooting the door. Now, I can't really fit a ballista at this point, as far as I'm aware, so I'm just going to sit and just be a part of the battering ram crew. Now, I don't know if this counts as dealing siege damage. If you being on the battering ram like this counts, I'm not sure. But you'll at least get some with the ballista. Okay, so this is also important. You might notice here, there's a little DC icon. So one thing to do, what I like to do, like, communication is important in this game. And if you can let people know if there's someone, like, if you see a bunch of DC running in, maybe just say, like, INC incoming, and then maybe, like, main gate or behind or something, just to let people know. Because I guarantee a bunch of people will get killed if they rock up and just don't know that there's people walking into the main gate. I've had this happen before. It's a way for flanks to like flanking to just fuck up a group doing a siege. Also, forward camps. Make sure there's a forward camp down somewhere. Alright, so now that the gate's open, your objective is to take this flag by defeating the enemies and just standing there, not in stealth, because I don't think that works. And then there's also a flag behind it over in this area here where you can see the other people. So there are NPCs that you'll have to kill. They're quite tough in Vengeance, because you're nowhere near as strong as you are in Champion Point PvP. But in a group, you can still handle them pretty well. You'll use a lot more of your resources just trying to kill them. Also, this is another area where oils can be dumped down while you're coming in, so defenders can make it really difficult for you. Again, Siege Shield, really helpful in here. Also, if you're a Templar, or any class that has negative effect removals, that can also help a lot for this. I think Purge also does the same thing, as for a bunch of people. And then once you defeat all the enemies, you can see the guy lurking in the background there still. The flags will slowly take, and now you just basically wait a little while. And here's the thing, the more people on the flags, the faster they will be taken. So grouping in Cyrodiil, especially with Vengeance campaign, Zergs are fucking unstoppable. So the more people you have, the more chance you'll get of success. Right, so now you can see at the bottom right there, Fort Alcel captured. That would be the endeavor done. Now, as soon as you've taken the keep, the first objective is to repair the door and repair the main door. That way, if people come in, they can't just immediately do a switcheroo and just kill all your people and take it back. They have to actually come through the door again, which can be very helpful because you can start oiling the shit out of them, stuff like that. It's a lot. I think the defenders have the advantage right now in this place, provided that people use oils effectively. Okay, so that's everything. If you have any questions for any of this stuff, as always, just let me know. But yeah, daily's done. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope this is interesting. It's a bit of a change of pace to what I normally do. As soon as Vengeance ends, yeah, I don't think this was even worth doing. Because in Vengeance, there are so many more people in a single campaign. And it's just, because there's a lot more action, there's a lot more momentum, there's a lot more people doing stuff. Whereas sometimes in the normal campaigns, like you get like 1 or 2 people taking a keep. And it can be done, but it's very slow and it's very unreliable. Alright, so take care everyone for now. I'll see you next time.